for both of you. A couple of weeks into practice, what does it look like so far? Where do you think you guys are at this point in the preseason?
I mean, it's looking good. We're gaining chemistry every day, playing with each other. These practices are really important in preseason. You're kind of building your offense, defense, everything you want to work on, all the basics, and kind of going from there to improve. So, we're confident right now. We just need to keep grinding day by day.
Kyle said it best. The only thing I would add to that is just it's real competitive. We got a lot of guys on the team that's really, really, really competitive. So that uplift the practice every day.
Does that feel different than last year?
I feel like it's the same because I feel like last year we had a lot of guys who was also competitive. So it's kind of like a tradition in the program.
Luther, I think at Media Day you had mentioned that you're not viewing it as necessarily like point guard, shooting guard, small forward, that you guys are more interchangeable. Is that something that's new this year, or is that something that you also believed last year?
That's something I always believed last year. That's how offers work, whereas the 1, 2, and 3 can be interchangeable.
You play with DJ and CJ at the same time?
Pretty much every day the team switches like a lot, so I play with them, I could say, every other day.
What's your comfortability in that lineup? It's a little bit of an interesting lineup with 2 point guards in there at the same time, with maybe you in there, sort of typically the 3.
I feel like it doesn't matter what 3 guards is in the game. I feel like we all interchangeable and comfortable right already, like playing with each other. So I feel like it's good.
You guys, Coach Holman was talking about CJ, Walker, and DJ with the ball in their hands, or they push pace a little bit. And he said he felt things were a little faster. I don't know, through these practices, have you felt that you guys are either getting down the floor quicker or the pace on offense is a little faster because those 2 guys have the ball in their hands?
No, yeah, definitely. I mean, those 2 super fast point guards are able to, push the ball up the court, get things moving. And, that's something we've tried to work on with our offense, too, is pace. It's not necessarily just go as fast as you can. You want to have good pace in your offense with being under control. So that's another thing we've been trying to focus on is, eliminating turnovers to as least as possible and just going from there.
Do you think you guys could end up being a team that tries to run the floor a little more, try to get a little more in transition maybe than you've gotten either last year or the year before?
I feel like yes, because I feel like the guards we got now is a little bit faster than the guards we had last year. So that also brings the intensity and push the other 4 guys on the floor to also play at the pace they playing at.
Last time we talked to you guys, you hadn't really gotten after it much in practice yet. What's something that's impressed you from each of the freshmen so far?
I kind of like the word he used, just everybody being competitive. Everyone's coming out there to compete. Like we're not just going in there trying to be soft with each other. We're all going at each other, and that's what's going to make us better. So I like the word when he said competitive. I think that's a big standout for really the whole team.
I would say they catching on fast. They remind me of my group, so that's a compliment. Because coach puts in plays fast, and he goes from offense to defense, and you gotta be able to keep up. And it's hard coming into your freshman year and have to know like 5 to 10 plays in a matter of 2 or 3 weeks. Because in high school, it's not that many plays.
Anything about those guys' skill sets that have caught your eye or really stood out?
Just say really versatile, like able to do a lot, offensively and defensively. Really talented kid. So yeah.
It's saying all 4 can do a lot.
You guys keep talking about how competitive practice has been. And was there anybody from like the day 1 of practice kind of set that tone for, how practice was going to be leading up into the season?
I think that all depends on like returning guys trying to set an example. So that could be, just Lou being a sophomore, or me as a junior, Dre as a senior. It's just really those older guys setting an example of what we want practices to be like, and how hard we want to go.
Luther, going back to your answer to Joe's question, how much do you know now that you didn't know at this time last year?
A ton of things. One, just be about the team always. Two, just try to do what coach asks you to do to your best ability, and just try to accept coaching. I would say that's the main thing for like freshmen coming in. Just accept your coach being on you, because if he's not saying nothing to you, that you should be worried. So, yeah, I feel like that's the main thing, just being coachable.
How much do you think that has risen your game from even what we saw towards the end of last season?
I feel like it risen because it allows me to learn from my mistakes. Then I got a great group of guys, great teammates who also push me to be my best and correct me when I do something wrong. And it's kind of vice versa. So I feel like coming into this year, I'm more ready.
You guys have talked a lot about things being competitive early on. When you guys have that level of competition, you guys seem to have a deeper team than maybe you did a year ago. What's the key to handling some of that and competing with each other and knowing that some minutes might end up being hard to come by for guys? How do you manage that of being competitive and battling with each other, and some guys are going to end up not playing as much?
Mm-hmm. I think that's like an aspect of like kind of what he was saying, just being about the team, knowing what you can give to the team. You really ultimately you're going to earn, what you work for. So it's really important, to come in and work hard every day, every guy down the line, because everyone's going to be able to help and contribute in some way, shape, or form. So
maybe as one of the older guys in the team, if there's someone that doesn't get the playing time they feel that they should get, how do you handle that? How do you try to help smooth that over in a locker room?
Honestly, I would just say, find another way to impact the team. That might just be, being more of a leader, as you're on the bench, or doing something in the locker rooms, talking to someone, helping someone, something you see on defense. Just another way to help them kind of, transfer that good energy somewhere else and try not to be upset about it, I guess.
Something like, would CJ talk to you about that like in the last year or two? I know you guys you've talked about that sort of relationship you guys had, but I'm sure you didn't maybe play as much as you would like to at all times, sometimes because of injury. But is that an example of like you going through something like that and somebody helping you?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think like I was able to kind of, see that firsthand personally. Just you just got to know you got to grind every day. Your opportunity will come. It's really just about staying ready. So there could be one game, you go in and play 5 minutes, and the next game you're going to go and play 25. So it just really depends. You just got to stay ready. Yeah.
For each of y'all, Kyle and then Luther, is there someone who maybe from the end of last season to where you are right now, their growth has really stood out?
Wow, it's a lot of guys, to be honest.
I would just say, collectively, I know I say a lot about just the whole team.
That's a
but
good question. It's a lot. Yeah, it is.
I like to keep it general. But, yeah, collectively, like, I just think, everybody has made great strides, not only, like, on the court, but, working within the weight room. With Caleb with losing some of that weight, his body's looking really good. I just really think collectively down the line, everyone's made big strides, and that was kind of what we were focusing on.
I would say one big stride I noticed lately is Ebe. Like he's been catching on to the plays fast, not really making many mess ups, catching the ball, keeping it high, and that's something I noticed in the past week.
And then Kyle, getting a little more specific, that Alonso and EJ coming in at your position. What have you seen from each of them from when they got here to where they are right now, and how do you think that they're specifically going to impact the game, like their specific skill sets on your team?
I think from where we were, where we started to now, they just understand the game in college so much more than they did. They've made great strides from when they got here to now. They've been really impressing me in practice, that's even just with keeping up with plays, knowing stuff, knowing what to do on defense, offense, all that good stuff. But both their games, I think could translate pretty well. With Zoe's length, he's so athletic, it's kind of ridiculous. And then EJ, super skillful, he's a bigger dude. So I think both of them, can find a way to contribute and impact the game.
Kyle, as a guy who came in, the same year that Chris Holtmann did, how important is it for you personally to help these freshmen like learn the culture of this program and things like that? Because I mean, you've seen it all with Holman so far.
Yeah, for sure. Especially being an older guy now, going through it and coming in with him, just trying to understand his culture and what he wants. We've kind of seen that these past 2 years. So that's just me trying to be a leader, really, is just connecting with some of these younger guys, sharing my personal experiences from when I was a freshman or a sophomore, and kind of some of the tough situations I had to go through or struggles I had, because there's going to be a lot of ups and downs. So it's just really communicating with them and making sure they understand like the things they are going to go through.
Get acclimated to his culture, and then how long do you think it'll take these guys to fully, embrace it?
I think like anytime you're trying to, change a culture within a place, it's going to take a while. So coming in, his first year, I think that whole first year kind of settling in, it took to really change the culture. Then last year, kind of really like stuff was being implemented. So I really think it was just kind of that first year kind of took for.
What impact have you seen from the physical changes that Caleb has made? I know you mentioned the weight that he dropped. Is it noticeable? Anything different about his game because of that?
I mean, I think he's just moving better, quicker.
He be getting up.
Yeah,
He been getting
jump a
up.
little bit. So yeah, I mean, I think like just those things. Anytime anybody can shed some weight off, it's going to help you move better, be a little bit more athletic for sure.
When you say he's jumping, is it he's dunking on guys, or is he protecting the rim a little better maybe than he has in the past?
I think a little bit of both.
He been dunking on guys.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, we're gonna keep that in the
So it's sort of being remarkable that some of the young guys are learning the plays in the offense. The fact that you think that is remarkable, to me, says that the offense is complicated, not typically easy to learn. Do you have like a big playbook, or are you expected to learn all 5 positions? Or why is it remarkable that they're learning plays so quickly?
A lot of guys are learning like 2-3 positions at a time with and especially with the amount of plays that we try to put in. It's a lot different from guys coming from high school to college. Like I remember having a few set plays in high school, and you come here and there's just like a full layout of different like options for each play and stuff like that. So especially when you're learning 2-3 positions, it's kind of tough. And I know, especially when I was coming in freshman year, just trying to learn. I mean, even one position is tough. So you give guys credit when they're able to catch on quickly, and you kind of expect it sometimes. So it's good that they are.
How many plays are you expected to learn?
I can't even put a number on it, I'm going to be honest, just because throughout the season, you might start with 2 options on one play. It'll end up with 5, so it'll be the same play with 5 different options. It's just knowing what call is what and trying to remember them for real.
When was the last time you ran a mile?
Since the last time I hit 457.
So it's still 4:57?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's crazy.
Last one.
What does Danny Hummer bring to you guys in practice? What kind of guys he like? Just looking for leadership and some older guys in this team. What does he give you guys?
I'll touch on that. It's a lot. Like he's a leader on and off the floor. He definitely leads by example. He don't yell too much. He more so talk to you, just like, hey, do this, do that. Hey, you messed up here, sorry. He's very encouraging. He's hardworking. He's definitely gonna push you on offense and defense. He's a competitor as well, and he's just an all-around leader.
Thanks, guys.